Hey, this is Gene. Just got done doing my lawn. Uh, my tire came off, but I need to be replaced for a while here. I just want to do a couple things here, and then I'll move on with my life. First of all, congratulations to Belgium. Clearly, we weren't ready for prime time. I think after the first 15 minutes, I think we got back in the game a little bit. And obviously, after they scored the second goal, other four of their goals they got, three of them were on us. Really, all four of them. It's like they weren't ready when the ball's in the box. They're not clearing it. It's like they're waiting for somebody else to step up and do it. I think that's just the experience of being on that stage at that point. And it happened with Canada, it happened with Mexico. When we get more and more involved in this, I think we'll be better. But seriously, we gave them the second goal. The defender doesn't do anything there, and it's a head in, no real challenge. And then we gave them two goals in the second half. Now I'm not saying that if we got back in, it was 2-2, that Belgium would not get up the next level and blew us away. They probably would have. They looked very comfortable the entire game. So congratulations to them. I've always rooted for Belgium. My ancestry comes from that area. Honout, I think it is. It's Hainut, I think, which is outside of Brussels. So I always root for them. What I will not do is just sit back and just allow what happened at the end of that game. And I haven't even looked at this yet, but what Lukaku did at the end of that game, mocking our president and all that stuff, fine, free speech, you have that here. Try that in a Muslim enclave and say something about Obama or Muhammad in those areas and just see what happens to you. And the guy used to play for Manchester United, and he was one of the first of the really huge signings that we have that end up being busts by the end of it. Now, he wasn't the worst, but he was one of them. So good for him that he got that. Whatever, this talk shit and doing clumps, whatever, that's fine. It's not like we're going to kill you in this country. However, his whole issue is about migrants. All we want in this country is that we should be determining who's going to be our citizens in this country. We are the most least racist country on earth, regardless of whatever people on Twitter thinks about that. England has the same system. However, they allow people to come over the borders and eventually give them everything. So it's just interesting to me that, and I'll talk about this later on, but I just want to see what Lukaku has done for his where he was born from, where his background is. And I would hopefully think that he's done a lot. Because I just want to say this before I go on. If you think that these multimillionaire players are going to have the same type of experiences of the people who are on Twitter right now just laughing at us because whatever, you beat us on the sport, good for you, whatever. That means absolutely nothing in the real world. But what's actually happening in your own country is that you're being taken over demographically, and a new religion is coming in and says you have to submit to them. Those people are not going to care. They're going to be by fences, and you're going to be in the city center or out in the countryside when these invaders come in and take over and make you submit. Those football players are not going to come and help you. So I could be 100% wrong here, because it's rare that you ever see a sports person actually going back where they come from when they make millions and millions and millions of dollars, where they actually grew up and go back and do something in their communities. We've had a couple here. We had a guy in the NBA, Umand, I can't say his name, Tepu Tubama. He was the guy who used to do this all the time. And that's what he was a defender. He was 7 foot, and we went and built a lot of hospitals in his native country. I would assume with as much money that Lukaku has made as a footballer, that he does similar things, that he uses at least 10% of his wealth to go back to where he came from. Now, my issue with the people here and the people that are really complaining about it, and they're like, oh, we're all being racist because we want the country to look like it should have been, what the natives look like and all that stuff. But you're rooting for a country that you're not really part of. These people that are not really native Belgians are all happy that they won. But if, let's say, France wins the World Cup, they'll claim them because it comes from their native land. Anyway, again, it could be 100% wrong here. And I'm still going to put this up regardless. But let's just see what Lukaku has done his native. Where is he from first? Lukaku, born. Okay, he was actually born in Antwerp, Belgium. But he's making a lot of noise about the fact that of migrants and all that stuff. Where is his parents from? Come on. Oh, that's interesting. His parents were from the DR of Congo. Why doesn't he play for them? Why not? Oh, is he claiming that he's a Belgian now? Is that what the normal Belgian looks like? Okay, fair enough. If that's the new world, fine. Does he give any money to Congo? Well, we're talking about it's like how the United States gives over 1.2 billion to that thing. Romelu Lukaku does not willingly send money to certain member families in the Democratic Republic of Congo. He has been extorted and all this stuff. So he doesn't do it. He doesn't put anybody back there. But apparently, that country's so bad, but we allowed them to play in the World Cup, right? And it was a great thing that they did, and almost won the game against England. I mean, the team they almost beat. But apparently, their country is all fucked up, even though we'll give them $1 billion a year. Which charities come on. Yeah, he does it his own thing. A lot of these players do this. They create their own charity. So you give to that charity, and he uses it as a tax break, and he puts his name on it. And all he really does is stay and play brand programs for $25,000 to help ages 12 to 15. He definitely has some things he does, so I'll give him that. Percentage-wise, I wouldn't think he's anywhere near what the normal person in the United States does. So, I have no issue with the team outplaying us on the field. I really don't. But I have an issue is people saying that it's the men's team's fault for what happened with the whole red card thing. They didn't cheat. They took whatever ruling the FIFA gave them and they allowed him to play. If you think that's cheating, I don't know what you think cheating is, okay? And I shouldn't blame them for that. How they played last night, I can certainly criticize it. There was nobody that really showed up. I think they got punched in the mouth early on, and that happens in sport. We find a team that's better than us, and they were before the game. I said before the game that we weren't the favorites. We're 17th, they're 9th, and they haven't lost in about 18 games in the last year. And they blew us out the last time they played us. The only issue we had this time is that we basically gave them 3 of the 4 goals. Now, I'm not saying they could not have just taken the game over regardless, even if we got back 2-2. Well, there was a couple times in that game we could have been 2-2. And I'm not saying that Belgium would have not just got to next level and got the 3rd or 4th or 5th goal. I'm not saying they wouldn't have. My issue now, and I'm starting to really understand the dissident right talking about the term sports ball. There's too much going on right now for native-born Western people to just watch sports all the day and glorify these players that are not from them. Because they're allowed to say, I want somebody to look like me, but when we see them, we have to support no matter where they come from, whatever their ideology is, and put them on a different level. Think of that, whatever they say is somehow gospel. In this country, we've been lionized celebrities and athletes for way too much long, and they're not smart enough to do that. And they do it in Europe when it comes to football and soccer. This is what they do. They lionize them. So if somebody, Lukaku, says Trump's thing about migrants is racist, or all this other stuff, and he thinks everybody in the United States is racist, or he just, for some reason, he goes after the fans in the stadium. I mean, seriously, all the issues that they've had in Europe, racist stuff, people yelling in the stands, I bet that didn't happen anywhere while he was in the United States. But he has that temerity. And again, this is another guy that he was a flop at Manchester United. I wanted him to be really good for Manchester United. I've always liked the guy. I don't really have a problem him expressing himself, but I think it's misplaced. And my issue is way too many native-born people in the West lionize this type of activity. And they think it's okay that he come in and represent his country. Now, he was born there, but okay. I don't think that Belgium actually has a birthright citizenship. I think you have to apply for it. But they might. I mean, Europe is basically conquered. It's just funny to me how so ferocious that they support the people that are going to take them over. And it's not like they're coming there and have the same value systems and they have the same religions and all that stuff. They don't. Their belief system is that we're going to just take over and you're going to have to submit to them. So on the altar of football, that maybe we'll win the World Cup. That's enough. That's all we need. That I'll allow this to happen because I can see we have like a little trophy in our cabinet that says at one time in the history of man, on one particular day, that we're the best team in a certain sport. It's stupid, and I'm a sports fan. And that's why I really am starting understanding what these people say about the term sports ball and how it's really just taken distractions away from what really needs to be happening in the West. I don't care about whatever. People can look it up. No one probably is going to watch this anyway. I just want to get this off my chest. Again, congratulations to Belgium. Normally, I would root for them against Spain. Spain's going through the same shit. I mean, it's going to be an interesting quarterfinal when these two teams, both of their countries, have been taken over by an invaded force, a type of force that will not allow them to just be, and let the native people just be, because it's not part of what their ideology is. Regardless if they're one of those nice Muslim people, when those who become more radicalized and are in power, those people who are Islamics or Muslims will have to now bow down to that as well. They might come out and be a little bit, oh, we're not going to do that, we're not going to do that. But when the day comes up, they of course they will submit to Allah. They will. This is what they'll do. Ask them all the time. All the different studies out there says, what would you do if you knew that somebody was a suicide bomber? Would you turn them in? Moderate Muslims said they wouldn't. They would take care of their own, right? So it's one of those things, like, we're not allowed to say anything. The native people in the West can't say anything about protection, making sure that the team looks somewhat like us. I mean, all you got to do is back and look at France when they won in '98. Did they have a couple black guys? Yeah. But for the most part, they had about 70 to 80% of it were native-born French people. Some of them might have been Muslim. You know, some of them might have been Algerian that their parents moved into France. But what we have now in all these different teams, we have basically Africans that are just everywhere. And again, Africa is a huge fucking continent, and hundreds of states, or almost hundreds of states. There's a possibility, that everybody might have a team that might have a team like that. But we can't say anything about it because if we do, we're racists. This has got to stop. There's a teacher out there. I don't know if she's even English, but she been talking recently and talking about how Generation X and the boomers and older millennials have not trained their children well. And of course, our school system is infecting our young people. And we need to step up. And people my age really need to step up, because I have nothing to live for. I mean, I'm not going to see the actual, the entire West fall, but my parents, my kids might. And I don't want that to happen. So as much as I like World Cup, much as I like sports, but there's a bigger thing here. And the fact is, the type of people, and again, it's not everybody, of course, but it's almost to a point they'd rather be okay, rather win the World Cup than have women's rights, or not have grooming gangs just not being prosecuted, or they just have their head in the sand when we realize there's a real problem when it comes to certain groups of people and certain crimes because they want to win the World Cup or something like that. It's disgusting, really. And I have nothing to do about it, and those people have nothing to do about it because as much as it keeps going on, we'll have strife, we will have war, and we'll have probably civil war in a lot of these countries. I think if you just look at Ireland for the next 10 years, we'll find out what's going to happen in the rest of the world, in the West especially. But that's where I am right there. Again, congratulations to Belgium. I'm not really sure how I want to root there. I thought Belgium looked really good. I thought that they played their best football that I've seen them play. I think them getting De Bruyne out of there, put some young guys in there, all of a sudden they became this team. The fact that at the end of the game they said there was a motivation because what happened with Balogun, I think that's just absolutely stupid. No professional athlete should give a shit about that. They should go out there and win the game. But if they want to make a point, fine. What does that actually mean? What does that actually mean? The guy that scored, is he some sort of woke, anti-fascist person? Whatever. Your country is taken over, dude. I don't care. You just stay there in Belgium and just realize what it's going to be. And you can't go certain places because they won't allow you to go there. Even though you might win the World Cup, they might let you in there on that one fucking day. But they'll probably have to go in the mosque and have to pray to fucking Allah. Anyway, you guys have a good day. We'll talk to you guys in the comments. You guys have a good day.